very interesting, actually. And it does speak to how we ended up doing this and us working together, because it's a really collaborative process. I mean, with those sorts of events, you're working on them like sometimes for 2 years. Like they're big productions, particularly ones like overseas. And really, it starts from like conceptualizing a brand and an identity and the story that we want to tell. Like, you know, you might call it a theme, but so you can start seeing the connection between sort of this brand piece, because for an event, you have to create an identity and an experience. You have to create a story. And essentially what our role is to create that, you know, whether it's one launch event, which happens on one night, or it's a 5-day experience that you're creating for these people in a different country, you know. And so our job was really just to conceptualize all of that. What is that experience going to look like? And to like the detail, like every single touch point. And every touch point is an opportunity to communicate something, to make people feel something, to get them to connect with something. Brand's the same thing, right? And then the way we would work together is that, I guess, as a creative, you know, Dan's responsible for, I guess, having that idea and coming up with that concept. But the concept is only as good as our ability to actually like bring it to life. And so we would like partnership, you know, and to this day, I think we talked to our team about the fact that this industry is not a, it's not a business where you work as an individual. It's interdependence is the thing that makes us all successful, right? Like I can't do what I do if I don't have an awesome creative, and vice versa. So that's how we kind of work together. But
yeah. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
thank you.
Thank
for
you
having us.
so much for coming on.
Maz and Dan.
Wrong way
Maz
around.
and
Maz and Dan.
We can soft spot.
Fine. Yeah.
From Weave Agency. Yeah, welcome to the Heart Media podcast.
Thank you.
And
Thanks for
we've
having
got
us.
Louis in the
Special
house
guest.
today.
Louis, and he's snoring as well. I want to see if we can get the mic like near his face so we can hear him go.
Louis' first
exciting.
podcast.
Louis' first
first
podcast as well.
podcast.
So
Yeah.
a lot of people
That's
are
good. I feel comfortable now.
breaking in the podcast today, which is awesome.
Yep.
Why don't you guys tell us a bit about yourselves, about the agency, all that?
Yeah.
How did you start?
How far back do you want us to go?
Give us the journey, man.
Let's
I
do
love
it.
it. I want to go deep.
the life journey?
Yeah.
Let's
Life
go
journey.
life
All
journey.
Run it.
Maz's life journey. I can start. If it's meandering, getting boring, let me know. But so I grew up in Melbourne, very working class, out in the suburbs in Melbourne, Glenroy. First generation Australian.
Shout out Northside. Is that Northside?
That is not Northwest. Yeah, Mum still lives out there.
I live out there
You do, yeah.
now.
You do. First generation Australian, so families from Croatia, Macedonia. I'm a twin.
The twin.
Twin, yeah.
That's crazy. What's your twin doing?
Mate, living a big corporate life in London. She's like a CEO of Castrol in Europe. Yeah, she's
The oil company.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
That's
she's-
big.
She's a big wig. Yeah.
A high
She's
achieving
amazing.
family.
Yeah, we're so different.
That's what I say, but
Yeah.
Maz won't hear it.
No, just like, no, she's the successful one. Yeah, she's pretty amazing. So, twins, just the two of us. Grew up in Melbourne and kind of how did I get here? I've always loved events. It's been one of those, use the word obsession before, Billy, and I think events for me was a bit of an obsession. Kind of like growing up, I just like loved
Events
watching.
in what way? Like what kind of events?
I
How does one
loved-
become obsessed with events growing up as well? Like, this is
yeah,
interesting.
just more like watching stuff on TV. Like I never
Yeah.
went to anything. My parents never really took us to
Yeah.
anything exciting, but I just like loved watching like award ceremonies, like Olympic games, like opening and closing ceremonies.
Wow,
Like I
so
just
interesting.
remember watching because I'm old, watching the 2000 Olympic Games opening ceremony and just going, oh my gosh, like that's what I want to do, you know?
Big production events.
Yeah, yeah, just like big stuff. Like I just was really drawn to it.
That's so cute. I'm just imagining like your daughter coming up to me and like, I love it, Mum. Like, I want to go.
Well, I mean, I've never said it to my parents.
At the Olympics.
Yeah.
Like, this is amazing.
Yeah. No, I never said to my parents. Like, they would like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But yeah, I just like remember just like loving that kind of stuff. And then just sort of fell into that industry. So like after I left high school, did a business degree started doing a business degree which specialised in tourism management at RMIT. I don't know why I picked that, but I did.
Yeah.
But the weird thing was there was a subject called event management. And I didn't even know it was like a thing. Like I said, I watched it on TV and I want to do that, but I didn't know it was even really an industry. And I did this subject in third year of uni. You had to do industry placement. I don't know if RMIT still does that, but you had to do a year of placement and just knocked on the door of a events and brand experience agency at the time called Jack Morton. They took me on, work for free. So like, why wouldn't you? I was like, yeah, sure. Just like come in here, work for free. Just never went back to school. I just did work experience, then got hired to be like an EA to the creative director at the time, and then got into production. And then as fate would have it, a few years after that, Jack Morton pitched on Commonwealth Games opening and closing ceremonies. Yeah, Melbourne, 2006.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I was just a bit of a junior burger at the time, like just like a coordinator. But because I'd worked with I was an EA to the creative director, so he kind of got me involved in helping with the pitch. And when they won it, I was sort of part of the core team that
oh my
got
God.
to work on it.
Was that like an I made it moment?
I mean, I think in hindsight now, like I was, I'm like, I think I manifested that, you know, but at the time I was just like a deer in the headlights. So I was just like excited but freaking out, you know.
Were you still at uni?
No, I didn't go back. I just kept working.
So you're like, okay.
Yeah, and then as part of that that job at the Com Games, I got to travel to Athens and go to the opening ceremony of the Athens Olympics. Like it was like observation, so they like sent us over there because Jack Morton did. Jack Morton produced the ceremonies there, so I vividly remember sitting in that stadium going, I can't believe.
Yeah,
I can't believe I'm here, you know, like after sort of.
But you must have worked really hard. That's why they rewarded you. Like you were just there by accident. You were. You were hustling at that job.
Yeah, I didn't know at the time, but I worked really hard. You know, I just it wasn't because I don't think it was because I was ambitious. I wasn't like actively kind of going, that's like I want to get there. I was just. I think it's maybe being a first generation Australian, like just like work ethic, working hard. It's just like ingrained in us. My parents
were
always
fun.
just like,
I feel like you'll be having fun. It's like work doesn't really feel like work.
Yeah, it was amazing. But yeah, it was just like, do whatever you can, just keep working, and work pretty hard, and had that experience, which was incredible, and that's just kind of what led to getting in the industry. And then eventually ended up at an agency called ABT, which is where I met Dan. Yeah, still working in the event space. And
that was an events agency, ABT.
Yeah, brand experience and events. Yeah. So Dan.
And you were a designer there.
I was.
Yeah.
Cool. So two different, completely different entry points. You know, Maz, production, myself, creative design.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then you were like, hey, hold on. We could.
This works.
Again,
complementary skill sets.
Also met my husband at that agency too, but that's a different story.
That agency was just full of opportunities for you.
It was a good time. It was a fun.
Yeah, it was.
It was a fun agency. We did a lot, and we got to do these big. Speaking of doing big events, when we started working together, we were working with this one client, and they did these like great. Events every year in Australia, but then every second year international events. So we did one together in Argentina, which was amazing.
What kind of events? Like how? Like I'm just trying to imagine you on the ground. Like what would you be doing? A creative designer and like event management.
But it wasn't just us; it was a whole team.
I know. I get that. Like how do the two actually work together? Like I'm actually just curious.
Like us?
Yeah. Like
that's a really good question.
Creative branding, and then event management. Like, I'm actually just trying to understand
how we got to where we are now.
Yeah.
So those kind of events, they're big conferences and conventions. So they'll be for clients that have got either a huge community of internal, staff that they need to engage. So it could be, you're a car company. So like we did events back in the day for BMW and Honda, and they might invite, all of their car dealerships and take them off to Japan, the mother country of where Honda's from or something like that. And so our job is to kind of like, what's the experience? You've got these, these people who are business owners in their own right in Japan, 3 days. It's a business conference. They've got to have fun. So we craft literally the moment they get off the plane to the moment they get back on. They have plenary sessions. So it might be like, a couple of thousand people. They might have guest speakers. They'll have stage projection, stage builds, lighting arrays, all of that.
So you'll be like kind of, I know there was a big team. I was trying to understand from the two of you. Like, you'll be like designing like the backgrounds, like the locations of things, and like how they look, how they feel, and like you gonna putting all these things together.
It's very interesting, actually. Like, and it does speak to how we ended up doing this and us working together, because it's a really collaborative process. I mean, with those sorts of events, you're working on them like sometimes for 2 years. Like, they're big productions, particularly ones like overseas. And really, it starts from like conceptualizing a brand and an identity and the story that we want to tell. Like, you might call it a theme, but so you can start seeing the connection between sort of this brand piece, because for an event, you have to create an identity and an experience. You have to create a story. And essentially what our role is to create that, whether it's one launch event, which happens on one night, or it's a 5-day experience that you're creating for these people in a different country, And so our job was really just to conceptualize all of that. What is that experience going to look like? And to like the detail, like every single touch point. And every touch point is an opportunity to communicate something, to make people feel something, to get them to connect with something. Brand's the same thing, right? And then the way we would work together is that, I guess, as a creative, Dan's responsible for, I guess, having that idea and coming up with that concept. But the concept is only as good as our ability to actually like bring it to life. And so we would like partnership, and to this day, I think we talked to our team about the fact that this industry is not it's not a business where you work as an individual. It's interdependence is the thing that makes us all successful, right? Like, I can't do what I do if I don't have an awesome creative, and vice versa. So that's how we kind of work together. But for us, and with Dan having a design background, like content and the brand and animation, and we created short films for things.
I was going to say, like a lot of screen production. Like there would be. So you imagine like these stages, you build these stages, and then you have this, it might be, I don't know, 20-foot screen, and you've got that on for 3 days. So you've got to create video content and, title stings and segue stings and, performances. And
now it's making
so
sense.
So it's like queuing performers or, queuing guest speakers and then running a video that you've created that's going to segue from one segment to the next. And so in some way, it's like a little bit, you have to understand the brand, you have to understand storytelling, but you also, it's a little bit like sometimes TV as well. Like it's got those kind of crossovers and the live element, so you never know what you're going to get,
And how did that shape Weave in like such? Like,
it's kind of how we started.
Yeah, we started weirdly as a brand experience agency. So that background in, as Maz said, doing events was how we started. And it started with one client, like everyone, through a pitch process, and then we were effectively, for the first however many years of our existence, it was essentially like there was three of us, myself, Maz, and Marcus, who left the business. But we were like a project team. We basically had one client working as a group of freelancers together. And then over time, we'd worked in the industry a lot. We knew people, we'd worked with people, we had a reputation. So one client becomes two, becomes three, and then all of a sudden you employ, you need an extra staff. And then all of a sudden we were accidentally a company.
Agency,
so
it
wasn't.
fell into it.
It really did. It was an accidental, it wasn't conscious, I don't think. Yeah.
And then the brand piece, I mean, Dan's obviously background is design, but started as in packaging design, so it's sort of like a bit of a full circle. We just started to get opportunities. We did all these events, and design and content was such a big part of what we did, and started to get recognised for that side of things, outside of just the events.
I see what you mean.
And then we just kind of just get an opportunity, and you're like, yeah, okay, we can do this, and suddenly the business kind of evolved.
So how long you had the business for now?
We have
2012?
It was 2012 when we got that client and started, and 2015 was really the point where we were like, oh, okay, this is a thing. This is a business. So it kind of probably feels like 10 years.
It's
10 years
crazy
now.
to actually say that, in your third year, basically, you're like, this is a thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we actually went through the same thing. This is our fifth year, but really the first 2.5 years, we were just fucking around. We had no, honestly, it's just having so much fun and not really taking the business seriously. But it was a moment when we're like, you know what, this is actually a thing. And I think a lot of people start something, and the first 6 months or year or even 2 years, they're like, oh, this is not working. But it's such a long process to actually feel like you actually own something, and because I don't know, a lot of the time you just feel like I don't have anything. It's just I'm just doing some work. It's oh, this client is going to come and they're going to go. You're almost not believing in it enough.
Yeah.
And it takes so long to get to that, oh shit, this is
a thing.
Yeah.
I think I think that is really important, taking some pressure off. If you start the business, I don't know, this is my experience, it sounds like it's yours as well. But if you're starting the business and you're like, this has to make money, this isn't the thing, day dot, off we go, you are destined to fail. I feel like it's got to start as fun, firstly, because then you don't mind working crazy hours because it's fun and you're enjoying it. And I think as well, when we first started, I think I had plans to be in a band. And
you were in a band.
I was in a band. So I was working I think 4 days a week. So I was just loving life, just
work-life balance.
And definitely working hard, but it wasn't I had staked my house on it, or I had everything to lose. So it was a little bit of the pressure's there, but the pressure's also not there, because they say it takes 3 years before a business can start making money.
We're learning that in hindsight, but we were just focused on doing the work, kind of like what you were saying. We were just trying
Focus on getting better.
Try to do as good a job as we can. We always just cared about just making the work as best as we possibly could. And I think even when I was back at other agencies, I was probably not the best producer, because I always just wanted to spend every dollar back into the creative, you know what I mean? You have to obviously make money, but I was just how can we?
How long did it take you to quit from the old job to get into this?
Yeah, and what was happening? What was going through your head? Also, I want to hear about your journey too.
Into
how you ended up at ABT. Was it?
Yeah. Should we start there?
let's start.
Yeah.
Actually,
Run it.
let's
Yeah,
start
because then
there.
our stories do then.
Yeah.
That's what I
merge.
want to hear. Then we can get into it.
Yeah. Okay. So I started as a graphic designer.
Out of high school, or
So after high school, went straight into design at RMIT. Didn't realise you were at RMIT as well.
Well,
Okay.
for a couple of years.
my
couple
God,
years.
you guys,
Didn't even know that.
this journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Crossing paths.
What were you like take us into who you were as a young man Dan?
Very hectic.
Yeah.
Thought I was going to be, I was a musician, so I sort of had aspirations to
Singer, guitar,
Drums.
Drums.
True, drums are hectic.
They are very hectic.
Drummers are full on.
Their parents hate drums.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're not. You can't turn them down.
they're the loudest.
They're
thing.
just
Not a good idea. Yeah.
yeah. So
Were you a bit like punk rock as a drummer, or what kind of a drummer were you?
yeah,
you-
just nasty music.
Yeah, you
basically.
totally nailed it. Yeah.
Yeah, just
It's punk rock, right?
anything that was just very sort of aggressive and not aggressive but angular. I'm gonna say,
I get you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You don't give
not
that.
easy listening.
Looking at you right now, I don't see it.
I'll send you some photos of young Dan.
I know. I was gonna say, there's some good photos of young
Oh.
Dan, and you've got
No,
like
this is
mascara and stuff.
Yeah.
on.
No, this is the misconception: is that people that play angry music are the most calm because it's cathartic. They get
Yeah.
all their angries out,
Mm.
and
I
then
was
they're
just
just
But you
chill.
did have your
music.
black hair and stuff. Like,
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I did have
Yeah.
black hair. Now
Yeah.
I've got grey hair.
Yeah.
That's yeah.
thanks to weave.
That's it. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, I chose design because I wasn't very good at much else. Like, it was really, my pathway was really clear.
You were like always a creative kind of a person.
Yeah.
growing up, good at drawing and
Good
things
at
like that.
drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, good at drawing. Loved music. Yeah, and I struggled at school a lot, so I wasn't going to be an academic.
Struggled like you didn't like school that much, or you were naughty?
I'm dyslexic
Okay.
and I have ADHD,
Okay.
so I had a few things,
A few hurdles to overcome.
few hurdles early on, and yeah, so it was, there was a really, I knew what I was good at and I knew what I was not good at. And I think early on I was always of the mindset, just focus your attention on what you're good at. Try with the other stuff, but I had to work hard. I think that was always interesting. What sparks the kind of like desire to work hard. And for me, it was not wanting to be, wanting to do more than what people had suggested I was capable of.
Okay.
I think.
You had like a point to prove. You were proud.
Yeah, I think so.
Do you
like
think
that.
because
Yeah.
people don't believe in the path of like a graphic designer or a creative, and it's such a stigma around it, you wanted to prove them wrong? Was it a family thing, or was it a like what
To be honest with you, when I was a kid, I had remedial teachers and all this kind of stuff to try and help me. And I remember one remedial teachers said to my mum, "You need to set your expectations really low with Dan. He's probably going to be like a garbage man or, some kind of janitor level." So,
Look at me now. Look at me now.
yeah. I mean, I clean my house, but, that's
Those hands don't do dirty work.
that's right. So
It's honestly, this is a thing, man. Like a lot of people, actually, that's the shit that drive them. It's a part of my motivation, like proving so much. I don't want to say the words, but like bad people of my past that that saw me in a way, or like looked at me in a way, or teachers, family, like cousins, like it's a part of why we actually fucking achieve a lot. It's not everything, but it's like fuck you.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can do this. Yeah.
So it's normal.
Yeah.
And I think I want to say society's better at it now.
It's
But
definitely-
like, it was the 80s, man.
Yeah,
Like,
the
it was,
idea of a creative now is like, it's cool.
Yeah.
You want to be creative. But back then it's like, what are you going to do? Draw pictures? You make no money.
Exactly.
Become an accountant or something. You
it's
know,
not a real job.
Yeah.
And also even having like, you know, things like dyslexia and ADHD, it's just so much more widely understood and, you know, accepted. It's not just like, you know, oh, well, he's not going to make anything of himself, you know. So
that's right. Yeah, there's a lot more awareness around it and understanding that, you know, different people think different ways, and that's a benefit, not a hindrance, and all that kind of stuff.
It's the cool thing, man. I can guarantee you that from like, you know, owning an agency, a creative agency, it's like everyone wants to have that experience. There's so much demand to be in this industry right now. Everyone wants to be a content creator. Everyone wants to be on camera. Everyone wants to be a creator. You know, like it's so different.
Yeah, it's flipped, hasn't it?
Yeah,
massively. Well, now it's like, for instance, my partner, she owns like a cleaning company.
Yeah.
She can't find like any staff because no one wants to be a cleaner. It's not a sexy job.
Yeah.
But for us, when we put up like an Instagram story when we're hiring people, and we just get like flooded with applications for creatives or like digital marketers or anything, because everyone wants to like. That's the new wave, I think.
Absolutely.
So it's definitely shifted,
Big time.
So you're at RMIT, design.
Yeah, design.
Full of angst, punk rock.
Yeah,
what's next?
Yeah, living in the city, share housing. I did work placement through RMIT, and I did work placement at ABT, and you know, it was a big agency, 2 offices, Melbourne, Sydney.
Do they still operate?
No.
Okay.
No, they imploded. Very sad. But they had a huge creative department, and it was, you know, creative directors and design directors and animators. And I'd never really come in contact with animation before, but it really just kind of blew my mind, you know, that you could take kind of design and make it move and tell stories and just, you know, take it so much further. So I decided to go back to uni. I did 3 years of what was then called multimedia back at RMIT, got my degree, and then I started working at a company out in Nuttawatting, which was, they did it was called Weatherbeater. They were like equestrian wear. Okay. So I was doing like packaging for jodhpurs and bridles and all this sort of stuff. All the while I was sending out my CV to try and get a job as an animator because I really wanted to do animation.
So did you study for? Sorry, so you had studied for about 5 years at that point. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. How old are you at this point?
Oh,
23, 24?
No idea. About that.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty young. Pretty young. But a lot of time just being a student and just being a bit of a rat bag.
Yeah. And what do you think about like the whole university experience? Because you dropped out, right? You studied a lot. Do you feel like you could have gotten where you are today without the degree?
Yeah, but I don't think it's critical. No, I really don't. It's helpful learning the programs, but you can do that elsewhere in much cheaper ways.
Yeah.
I don't think any design studio. Well, that's not true. I do like it when when I'm looking at junior designers, RMIT, Swinburne. Those are the kind of main ones. Monash as well. Sorry, and so it does matter a little bit, but also doesn't matter.
If they have like an impressive portfolio.
Yeah.
If you have
that portfolio,
you're right.
Yeah.
If you have an 18-year-old son that just finished high school and they want to be a creative, would you tell them to go to uni and study for 3 years, or would you tell them to go and start a job somewhere and not get paid for like 6 months and build a career there?
Bit of both.
It's a really good question. I'm a little bit traditional in this respect. I do think there is value in going through the process of being, of study in graphic design. But I think saying before, it's all about portfolio. You're so right. Like portfolio's king. Mm-hmm. If your portfolio shows the breadth, so I would say to them, start working on your portfolio early. Try and do jobs for friends, practice your design, start learning the software really quickly. It's not hard. It's very intuitive,
and it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Like everything is on YouTube.
Yeah, it is.
I think the good thing about like university or studying like post high school is that it teaches you some of those like foundational skills like time management, right? You're at school and you go to your classes and you got your schedule, and suddenly you get to uni and you're kind of in control of your own time. So that discipline, the knowing how to structure an essay, for example, like just communication, those sorts of skills I think are really fundamental for any job, particularly a creative job, like learning how to communicate your design, present to a client. Like that's the stuff that you learn in school. I think a lot of that sort of like creative and more sort of like implementing your design skills in a business is fantastic. Like
it's a cool experience, like going to uni. It's cool, but I feel like that. I mean, not everything. Like if you want to be a doctor, of course you have to go to uni. But the world is changing.
I think also
it is. There's no one linear path, particularly in
I think
our
if
industry.
you are like we've been meeting some people that are like coming for like internships or something, and they're like 19 and they're so driven and they've got like a decent portfolio of like video work or something like that, and it's like, wow, like you're hustling. If you can do that at the age of 19, you're hustling. Like you don't need to go to uni, I don't think. But like for me, I didn't really take life seriously until I was like 23 years old. So like I understand for people to go to uni because like it will kind of keep you on the right track, because I dropped out of uni and I was like, I can't be bothered being here, but just by sticking with it, it gives you that kind of organization and that structure that you're then going to take away from it. You know what I mean?
They're good skills. Yeah, but I was 19 when I started my work experience, and then never went back to uni. And I don't know if I was hustling, but I was just like working hard and learning. And so like everyone's paths are different.
But I definitely needed that structure. Like I was useless at, like for me it took me from I really was like just the but I mean like it was a transition where I moved from Warrandyte to the city. You're now like in living near the campus, and all of a sudden now you're responsible for your own shit, and so it just really helps you. For me, it helped me grow up really quickly. So that's why I sort of hesitate on that question, because I think for me personally, I think I needed a little bit of that, just a little bit of autonomy to sort of go, no, this is you now, you're driving this.
Beautiful.
Okay, and how did you land in APT?
Yeah,
was that the next step after the Jodhpurs?
Yeah, after the Jodhpurs. I got an interview back there. They asked me to do a job, and I was working full-time at Weatherbeater, and then they asked me to do this animation job, but I was working full-time. So for a couple of weeks, I went to work in Nunawading and then drove to South Yarra and would do like work there in the evening to night. And so I did that because I really wanted the job. Yeah. Like I was like, I love this place. Yeah. It's so cool. I want to be part of this kind of creative culture. And so, I think just the sheer fact they knew that I was doing that, they were like, oh, this guy's...
He wants it.
He wants it. Let's give him a go. So I started there as an animator, designer, and worked my way up to art director, design director. And then around about that time, that's when you joined ABT. And that's sort of, at that stage, you were a senior producer. I was a senior creative. And then we started working together on events and, traveled the world. And, it was such a different time. Like it was before the GFC. And, oh, man, some of the events were just so hectic.
Crazy.
We traveled to, as you said, Argentina and Istanbul and
were there any like crazy experiences that you guys had at these events and things like that?
What goes into us stays into us, as they say.
No,
but no, they were amazing. Like what we got to do in terms of like I think from a like budgets and like the scope of creativity. We also had this awesome client who just trusted us. Like I remember being on site in Istanbul, and we'd created like with Dan, like created basically a short film. It was beautiful. And she saw it for the first time in rehearsals the day before the show. Like that's how much trust she had in just like knowing it was.
Did she love it?
She loved it. Yeah, people were moved. It was all about sort of like the Anzacs and Gallipoli, and it was beautiful. Australian audience in Istanbul, and so we just had like this like creative license to just like make bullshit and budgets to match. So the limitations were really like what we could kind of come up with, and it had to be right for the brief and for the audience. You know, it wasn't self-indulgent. But we just got to do amazing.
And then you guys started working together.
Yeah, on those projects. Yeah,
and
just
at what point were you like
producer?
Let's do it.
It was. I think it came from a realization that, like, when we first started at ABT, the culture was good. It was a really awesome place to work. Great people. You know, a lot of autonomy. And then over time, you know, you feel the business change, and just by contrast of, you know, a few people leave, a few new people enter. They run the business a little bit differently. It now becomes less about doing good work and more about making money. But, you know, and a little less about, you know, the happiness and joy of the staff, and more about just like doing timesheets and all of that really boring stuff. Necessary, but like you can feel the weight shift. And at a certain point, we realized that the agency life, you know, of working hard, just going hard, and, you know, not a lot of room for life, was really taxing, and the work wasn't better for it. So you're sort of like, what's the point? Why is it so hard? I think there's a kind of better way, and that was almost the impetus for starting something.
It was kind of like to almost like exit the situation that we were in. Like we were saying before, it wasn't this big ambition to go, we can do this, you know, better in the sense of starting an agency. That kind of happened as part of the journey and part of the process. It was more just like where we were wasn't a good place for us, like just from a mental health perspective, you know.
I mean, you guys were obviously like, because how long were you working there for?
You were working there for a long time.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was now. A little too long, but yeah.
Because you would have been progressing a lot in your personal lives as well outside of the business, right? Like your personal life would have changed, maybe become more demanding.
Very much so.
Like romantic partners at the time and all that kind of stuff.
Well, like I said before, I met my husband, and so I moved. I was working at that agency in the Sydney office, and then moved to Melbourne because Brad was living here, and that's probably where we started like working together more closely. So like there was a lot happening, you know, in personal lives. You know, we were at that point, probably late 20s or something, you know,
late
30s.
Okay, Like, was it scary where you're like, this is going to be fucking hard, or let's just fucking do it, we'll figure it out?
I think because we didn't go into it with that sort of like thinking, we were like with this big ambition to like, we're going to build a business and it's going to be this. It was more just like we were sort of treating it like we were our project team. We were already working together. We knew we liked working together. So we were just sort of like taking that and almost just like getting rid of the other stuff that wasn't serving us really well. So it was scary. For me personally, it was really scary, like quitting a job because, again, going back to the way I was brought up, you know, quit a job, you know, like a secure full-time job and then go sort of freelance. So that bit was scary, but I think the working together bit was the joyous part. Like that was freeing, to be honest.
And
did you step?
Here you go.
Did you step away completely? Like you guys left that agency entirely, and you're like, let's just focus on doing something together. And then what was that process like, and how did you land that first client?
Yeah, it was a pitch process. The first client, obviously, you know, just having prior relationships, and it was big enough for, as I said, the three the three of us to kind of work across that full time. So there was a little bit of, assuredness that, at least we had this project, and if it fell down, that would be disastrous. But we've got one focus now, which is this one client. So, as I said, the mindset was really just like freelancers. We're just freelancers working together on a project.
And because those, sorry to cut you off, because those jobs were like big and you work on them for like a year, it wasn't like, we were just doing one job which might be over in a couple of months. There was security in knowing even if it was
go for a while.
One or two of them, like it was a kind of couple of years, and by that time we could sort of figure out what's next, exactly. So
is that how it still works? Like you work on a project for a year, or
it's very different now.
Different,
business is very different.
Okay.
But it's the business changed hugely. Like it just,
because you guys were doing similar to what you were doing at ABT for yourselves now. So you had like
to begin with
big experiences, events mixed with graphics, and now fast forward however many years, 10 years, right? Congratulations, you guys, on 10 years of business.
Thank
Amazing. You are more of a branding and design agency. How did it change? Yeah.
It was gradual, not gradual. Planned, not planned. I don't know. It started, I think, our background, design and making things happen, production, that, and that was always through the lens of brand experience and stuff like that. But we understood brands because we'd been working with them for, however many years. And we made content that was really good, really high level. So I think over time, we started to do work that was just the brand and content stuff without the event as the basis.
Right.
And so
because it's easier to get jobs like that.
Yeah.
Like if big events probably is a bit of a harder.
Yeah. It's a big contract.
Yeah.
You've got to go through.
Contract,
That's right.
Yeah.
So, smaller work would come in, but it might be just like we need you to create a video or a piece of content. We need you to, create some design collateral or content, whatever it was, but it wasn't attached to events. And then I think the big shift was at the time we started working really closely with Better Happy, Matt Jones, who ended up becoming the founder of Four Pillars Gin. And he, at that time, was running a sort of creative strategy business, and they did production and a bit of brand content, but that wasn't their strength. So we sort of connected in with them because we did what they didn't do as much, and we sort of started working really collaboratively with that team. And through that, we got exposed to our first non-events client was Angove Wines. So we were asked to do a packaging refresh for a big 5th generation wine producer in South Australia. And we were like, what right do we have to do this? Like we're not, this is
not us.
This is not us.
Yeah.
But Matt at the time was very complimentary of us. He still is. And he was like, you've done packaging, you understand brand, you understand content. What's holding you back?
What
sort of
could
thing.
go wrong?
Yeah, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
Well, quite a bit, but no. We sort of went for it, and we absolutely, like, it was, we churned the hours like nothing else. Like we worked so hard.
You hustled because you knew this.
my
this
God.
I was
could
going
be
to
something.
say,
Yeah.
we used the word hustle before. We fucking hustled.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
job, just like learning, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
so
were
I
not
would-
going to let it fail. It was
No.
like failure is not
Do you
a
think
Not
it
an
was a
option.
good decision?
the
Yeah.
best. We
You
would not
did?
be here.
best
Yeah.
decision. Yeah.
We would not be here. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're the
Factually,
same.
our business may not exist had we not done that. And I say
It
that
wouldn't
because
exist. No.
COVID, as you can imagine, all of our event work just
Died.
stopped.
Yeah.
And over the years, thankfully, 4 or 5 years prior to that, like we had taken that job, and then more of those obviously branding jobs and packaging jobs kind of happened. And in COVID, when the event work suddenly stopped, we had booze clients who were selling quite a bit because we're all drinking. And we had a paint client, Taubmans. People were doing a lot of DIY.
Yeah.
And the whole center of gravity of our business, it was evolving, but
Your fast track.
Fast track.
Just flipped like that.
Our production team,
Yeah.
like God love, they're bloody amazing. Just went from producing events to producing like
campaigns.
We did so many shoots and campaigns and like we did some virtual events as well. But
Huge.
like the business.
So that's when it really flipped for you guys.
Yeah, it had evolved in the sort of the 4 or 5 years prior to that. But it was a real transition period.
That was like
for
someone
us.
just flipped the switch for you guys as well.
100%. Yeah.
And do you like this? What do you prefer? Do you prefer the way the business used to be or the way that it is now?
Oh, now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because
now we still get to do both. Yeah.
I have an interesting observation.
Mm.
It's interesting how we went from like event to branding with the rise of like AI now.
Mm.
I feel like the shift is actually going back to events.
100%.
Do you guys think about that? Do you feel like you're safe because you know that industry, or
No one's safe.
I'm really, I'm really just interested to hear your thoughts about it because, like, I never thought of doing events, but the more I'm like learning about AI and about how the future could look like, it does seem to be the actual direction to go towards, like events. Is AI will never be able to replace that thing.
That live experience.
Ever. Like,
So right.
Because it's so like, it needs us to be on ground and doing things like, I'm just curious, like, to hear your thoughts about it.
A very interesting observation and absolutely something that we've been like talking about and thinking about. Like I said, no one's safe. I think everyone in this like creative industry is like going through this time of change in real time. And we're learning as we're going as well. But absolutely, like the world's transitioning into valuing experiences more and more. And I think the fact that that's in our DNA, and it's not just we do events and we do branding, we're constantly thinking about when we're working with brands, how to create experiences for the brands that we work with and how to connect consumers to them. And Dan talks about this, when we're having these conversations around like creating brands that are easy to get and easy to love. And that easy to love bit is all about the experience component and helping people sort of like fall in love with brands and connect with them, and experience is a part of that, events a part of that, storytelling is a part of that. So we feel pretty good about having those skills already part of our organization to ride this wave. But the whole AI thing's huge and scary. I
think.
Did you guys like throughout your journey, like, I don't know, like growing your own business, your creative agency, whatever, like it's kind of scary all the way through, like, again, until you know, like, oh, this is now my thing, and like, getting leads and working on the leads and delivering high quality, and like there is a lot of like tension going on into like building those businesses. I'm just really curious to see, like, when did you guys start to actually feel a bit safe about your position? And have you ever actually felt safe about your position in the business?
I think, we always talk about the fraud syndrome. Like, you're always a bit like, what gives me the right to be talking with confidence to this, business owner about. But I think so. I think a little bit of that is healthy. Like, it just keeps you on your toes. If you just get complacent and you're not sort of going, I'm comfortable. I'm so comfortable. Then I think you just sort of relax into retirement. But so I'd say not. I
don't think you ever feel safe. Like, and that's probably, like you say, there's probably a good thing. Like, there's always a different challenge, right? It's just like growing from 3 people, then suddenly we're 5, and we're like, oh fuck, we're a business. And then there's all these like, all the compliance things that you need to think about, and like, okay, like how do we like pay people properly, and all of that sort of stuff. And then to your point, like the new business, and suddenly we've like grown our team, and we love our team so much. Like they're literally like I was saying before, it's like the best part of the job, but it's also the bit that you worry about the most, because you want to make sure, like, we want to keep them employed, and we want to make sure that they're feeling like they're growing and doing exciting creative work. So, okay, like what's going to be the next client that gives us that opportunity? And, and then
it's so hectic.
Yeah, you really, you must feel as well, right?
So hectic. Yeah. It's so full on. It's like, yeah, I feel like, with our so far where we are, I guess we're only like 4 and a bit years in.
It's a lot.
But it's like every year, all the time you're feeling like stressed about like, oh, this thing is coming in and we need to get more work, and we need to hire people, we need to do the whole thing. But then it's like, if you look back on it, I mean, in general, I guess it's been progressing in a positive way, and you have always been able to do all those things that you want to.
Yeah.
But you never like stop stressing about it. The fear is still always there.
Yeah.
Because you're always like preparing for the worst, right? I feel like with business. What if everything just like changed? We're going to COVID again, you know what I mean? Like,
well, that's it.
Crazy shit.
I think the only thing about like, not the only, but like one of the positive things about like getting older, and as the years kind of go past, you have those experiences that you can look back on, like COVID is obviously a really big one, and go, oh, got through that. So you just build up that muscle and a bit of like blind faith sometimes to know that, well, we will get through this because we've gotten through worse, and this is a hard time, but I know I've gone through harder stuff before, or so this too shall pass. And you've got a bit more of that kind of like muscle memory and a bit of confidence that, you will like be able to ride that next wave. But
I so agree with you. I feel like, like losing a client like 2 years ago, three years ago, will be like, oh my god, I'll take it so personally.
I'll
be so upset for like, the day or the 2 days, so you know what I mean, and panicking about like replacing this. But right now it's like, you know what, it's a good thing, man,
maybe it's
it's like you try to do your best, no alignment, shit happen, and honestly, like, this happened because we kind of learned to trust that if a client kind of go, they're going to come, a better client is going to come in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you never lose a good client, to be honest with you, if you're doing everything right. So it's a muscle. It's like you just care less about it.
You I don't know. I still, to be honest, I still struggle with. I personalize a lot, and like something happens with a client, and
beat yourself
up. But you probably get over it a bit quicker, and you kind of like to your point, one door closes, another one opens. It was time. A lot of it you can't control. It's not necessarily that you've done a bad job, but sometimes clients, people leave the business, and you don't have relationships with the clients that are left, or they just want to explore what else is out there. It just happens, It's not necessarily about you, but it's bloody hard.
Yeah.
Do you guys honestly like ever like shut down, or do you go on holiday and you're like, don't think about work? Is that a thing for you?
I'm getting better at it.
Yeah.
I went to Europe last year, 4 weeks, and of course you think about work because it's like
your life.
That's like, it is. I do feel like it's part of me.
Yeah.
But it was testament to the fact that over the years, like, we've built a really solid team, and I was able to walk away, and the business was in great hands. Like,
love that.
Asher, you've met, Fuchsia, our producers, Meg, we had Fiona at the time. They would sharing the load and walk back in and doing a fucking great job. And people were saying that when we came back, like, so many people were saying to me, even like, Dan, it's like, oh, such and such did an awesome job while you were gone, clients were happy. So it does.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
because there was a time when if Maz left the building, it literally fell down. There was,
Yeah, which is probably because we hadn't really
set
it up properly, like we didn't have processes in place,
It's such a...
We didn't empower others.
I feel like, agencies is such a personal experience, and I feel like clients really appreciate that. And for you to delegate that is really, it takes a lot of willpower, and it's scary.
Trust.
To get someone to be you or, face a client instead of you. It's such an interesting.
Yeah.
You're so right. And it's also like, it can be a little shot to the ego as well, because effectively you're empowering someone to do what you believe only you can do, So then you're getting to that point where you're almost intentionally making yourself redundant, which is a very weird situation to find yourself in, where you're like, I don't need to be in that meeting because Daz has got this, or or Michael's gonna take control of this project, and I'm just gonna intentionally step back, let them roll with it, and have faith that they can do it. And with that, it's like, cool, but you're also like, well, what am I doing now? Like, what's know? But the answer is you're focusing on the other stuff, like the new business stuff, or the building the business and building the structures and stuff. But there's a weird sense that you're making yourself obsolete.
What do you look for when you're hiring someone?
Smarter than me, better than me. I think we've always maintained culture. For us, culture is king. It really is, so important. And, we've tried to hire people, like-minded people, hardworking people, good at their craft, obviously, but humble people is a big one. Maybe not so much, that sort of alpha personalities, not really interested in that. Like people that have a little bit of self-doubt, just enough, a healthy amount of self-doubt, because I think I have that, and I know, I speak for you, Maz, but I think we both, but I think that keeps you humble, means you're not going to be, tyrannical about the way you run the business. It's a little bit more egalitarian, and that's a good thing. Brings everyone in, they feel invested, they feel empowered, and then that's when the team lifts and you get the best outcome, because everyone's invested.
Yeah. And I think with hiring, we've had amazing retention. We haven't had many people kind of leave the business, luckily. So it's not like we have to hire constantly or a lot. The reality is you don't know how someone's going to work, through an interview process. You sort of have to go with your gut as well. And, sometimes you get it wrong. Thankfully, we haven't really gotten it wrong too many times. But you just have to kind of go with your gut. And I think to Dan's point, because we've got this culture and a group of people that there's not one big dominant person who's got the big share of voice. Everyone's got their own sort of personalities. But if there was someone who we met who just instinctively, you felt like, oh, they're going to be kind of a big loud voice, probably wouldn't fit with our team structure, because it might make everyone else sort of go a bit quieter. And so they're the sorts of things that you look for. But
what does success look like for you guys right now?
It just, there's always the work, and you never rest on your laurels. So just delivering good creative work consistently and high quality is success. But for us, we're actively just trying to get better at marketing ourselves. We're not that's probably been the piece that we've always just really focused on, doing the work, and we've been recognised for the work that we do and for the people that we are, and that's how we've gotten new clients. But but now we're actually just like trying to level up a bit. So I think for me, just like thinking of one thing that I'm like focusing on is just like getting more comfortable with the discomfort. Doing stuff like this is new, right? And you shy away from it. I probably shied away from it for a long time. Putting ourselves out there a little bit more and leveling up in that marketing and getting more awareness for the business is really important to us at the moment. But I guess the other piece is just keeping our team together, keeping them interested, keeping them happy, keeping them employed. That's always the end.
Yeah. What does the perfect business look like for you?
Does it exist?
Let's unpack it.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably just, I mean, it's a happy team doing good work. And I think, as Maz said, we've probably done those two things, but we've not been good at getting the recognition. Not that recognition is everything, but it certainly does help generate new business.
Awareness.
Yeah.
So for us, probably it's to maintain, the culture of Weave, which we think is super important. We're a flexible working business as well, so we've really held on to that post-COVID, and doing good work, but then also getting just a little bit more recognition and letting the world know that we do good work, because we've not been so good at doing that side of things. So that would be the holy grail, I think.
Yeah, and to get leads, as you say, to continue sort of like building and growing.
And how do you get like your team to not just work for you, but actually believe in you and like believe in your vision? It's very important. It makes a lot of difference.
I think it's just all the micro conversations that you're having all the time, and that it's and it's not being preachy or anything like that, but I also think it's being really transparent as well. So we are oversharers, Maz and I think. So like when things are good, it's good, but when things are bad, we're not saying the world is falling, but like we're just like, it's really hard right now, or that and I think people appreciate transparency. It makes it realize that you're people too. We're all struggling to try and get this thing working, and if you're comfortable enough to verbalize that, then I think it just brings everyone in. And so I would say that transparency is really key.
I agree. Transparency is like number one.
Yeah.
Because then you break down the barriers between you and whoever you have working with you. And they also feel like they're just as much a part of it. Because it's all about trust, right?
Yeah.
Because they trust you more.
Yeah.
And then you trust them more. And then it's like, okay, we're actually doing this thing all together. It's not like I'm helping you guys build a business that's yours. It's like, well, I'm so involved now too.
Yeah.
And not as in a strategic or whatever way, because we run it the same way with our team. We just like, that's what we want. We want everyone to feel like we're a part of it, and they are actually helping us do it. Like everyone is so integral to everything that we do at the agency. It's like, well, you need to know that you are so important.
Yeah.
So, and back to your point, is like if someone is just treating it as like a job and they're like, I'll work for you, and they just want to come in and come out, and it's fine, but like you feel the disconnection because everyone else is like so emotionally invested and obsessed with this business. And when someone comes in and not like that, there is a disconnection, and everyone feel it, you know what I mean? And
it's a really, like what I think we do and you guys as well, there's a lot of emotion and passion, like a lot of yourself. You invest so much of it, and I think especially in the when it's creativity, and making content and stuff, you just put all of yourself into it. So it's really hard to sort of, I just noticed that distance when as you say, you can feel it, and you can see someone's just seeing this as a bit of a job, and that is totally cool. I get that, because not everyone lives it, but passions I think it's super important to just doing good work.
Yeah.
Just like
It's number one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
like what you were saying before about you applying for ABT and getting in there. I think passion and grit kind of outweighs everything when you're hiring, like, because you can actually learn the skills if you really want it, you know what I mean? Like, you could come in as like an average designer, but if you're there and you like get there early and you leave late, you take work home like with you, which is not always like the most healthy thing, but like if you're obsessed, like you can just get there and do it. So the passion is so important.
The thing is, you know, people talk about taking work home with you, but like people on social media anyway, right? Like people, you go home and you scroll down on social media for 2 hours. You could scroll down on actually things that relate to your work and actually learn. And you know, you're putting yourself ahead, and like you're that's it really. You're putting yourself ahead, you more in value, instead of just wasting it watching CAD videos. You could actually, you know, watch what fucking the competitors are doing, what other agencies are doing. Do you know what I mean? And I used to think this is like such a bad thing. I'll scroll down and, you know, my algorithm is basically things that are related to work mostly, right?
Too.
And I'll scroll down and I'm like, you know, oh fuck, I'm spending so much time on social media, but like it's putting me ahead. I know the industry, I know the culture, I know what's going on. You know, it's like if I'm having a client meeting, I know what I'm talking about. You know, if they mention a name, I resonate with it. You know, it's like all these things kind of builds up, and I learned that it actually is a good thing. You know, it's like it's not that bad. It's like we work on a campaign. Oh, let's get that inspiration from that thing that I saved. You know, it helps a lot. And
it does.
You know, I've got some employees that like do it, you know, like they send me things at like 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and it's fine. It's like they're scrolling anyway, you know, but it's those little things that really solve problems. It's that obsession that actually solves problems and like sets you apart and makes you better. And,
that's right.
Yeah.
Like we've got, my feed is full of, you know, alcohol. Just alcohol packaging, and on one hand you could say there's a problem there, but at the same time, like if I'm having a conversation with a client who wants to launch a whiskey or a new beer brand or a seltzer, you know, I understand what's out there. I'm aware of other businesses or other competitor brands, so you can instantly just talk with authority about that stuff. And because it is in that instant feed, Instagram, you know, so it is a little bit of just like, I'm scrolling for fun, but my fun is work. So
exactly right.
I think with the obsession thing, it's just like I guess broadening it to that sort of like healthy obsession, you know, and it not sort of like crossing that line where it starts to, you know, impact your life in a negative way. And that's probably, you know, looking back to before we started this business, like I reckon we were in that sort of unhealthy, and it was probably compensating for anxiety. And so you work harder and you work on weekends, and it wasn't for joy or for passion. It was just this sense of, I need to keep working and keep working. And so we do, just to that point, like really try with our team to create this balance, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you just have to work, like because there's a deadline or whatever, and you know everyone is always all in. Like no one shies away from that work, but we never expect that to be the norm. And I think that's where the industry has probably changed, you know, from when we started, where you couldn't leave the office at 6 o'clock at night, 7 o'clock, you know what I mean? Your boss was still there. There was just this culture in agencies that I don't think was healthy. So I guess that's probably the caveat to the work bleeding into life and vice versa, is just making sure that you know, we want our team just to feel like they have got that sort of space. So when they come to work, and we do too, when we come to work, we're bringing, you know, our best selves. And I say that because I don't think I was very good at it when I was younger. I just my obsession got the better of me, I reckon. It wasn't particularly healthy. So
what's one thing you guys said you'll never do as founders and you ended up doing?
Timesheets.
Yeah.
Seriously.
What's that?
Timesheets.
Timesheets.
I was so
Timesheets.
shit at timesheets when I was and Dan was too. Like there was inevitably like that company email like at the end of the month going, you have to do your timesheets, and there was always a list of the top 5 people who hadn't done their timesheets for weeks, and we were always.
I almost got fired for not doing timesheets at an old agency.
I just hated it. But and so like when we started, we're like, we don't do timesheets, and sure enough, we do timesheets now because you kind of do need to like.
Well, because you guys are also like not all in the
time
office as well.
That's right.
Because like we're like all in the office like 5 days.
It's not even that like tracking time. It's probably more just learning around how long we actually are taking doing particular things. So like as we budget and
can be efficient.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or even if because we always inevitably like end up spending more hours than, is in the budget because that's just kind of what happens. But at least we can have conversations with clients to go, actually, you're getting X number of dollars of value that we're not charging you for, but at least we can like show them the value. Whereas before we were just kind of a bit like loosey goosey, we're like, oh, we just got to do the work, and you weren't really accountable. So
but it is 100% not for like checking
monitoring.
On stuff.
Yeah.
Like I can hand on heart say to this side, we've never used timesheets as a way of checking on a staff.
No, like, and then when we implemented them, it was like a big conversation around this. Is not so that like. We're making sure that you're doing 8 hours of billable time and every day. It's not that. It's just an education process so we can like do our jobs better.
We should start running them like
we should start running it like a regime.
You really should. Take it from me.
We go harder than dictatorship.
Uniforms.
Yeah. Everyone wears the same thing and they
dress code
at the same time. And they should message us.
They should and
they need to clock in and clock out when they go to the toilet.
Exactly. Clocking out.
They should clock
30-minute break only.
Clocking. Yeah.
He's listening. Yeah.
They come for you.
Change is coming.
Yeah. So that's probably one. I'm sure there's many.
I had a question that I wasn't sure if I should ask or not.
Oh,
but
God.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you guys think people can build wealth building a creative agency?
Ooh, like make big cash?
Yeah.
Yes, I think you can. Maybe you're better to answer this.
Well, I don't know. I think it depends how you define like personal, like how you define wealth and what your benchmark is.
Basically, a lot of money.
Like people who sell agencies, and there was a period of time certainly when ABT where we worked, that was bought out by one of those big holding companies. That was happening very regularly. And now we're in this phase where there's lots of independent agencies. I have read recently a couple of agencies just in the press have been bought out by others. So one design firm buying out another one. So I think that's probably a way to build, I guess, more significant wealth quickly. But yeah, I mean, I think just working for yourself, there are risks as being business owners, and then, there's upside, and some years are better than others. There were years when we were paying ourselves less than other people because you're trying to invest back into, into the company. And, there are other years where you see a little bit of upside. So the answer is, I think yes. Sort of just depends what your end game is. If you're fortunate enough to sell a business at some point.
How does someone sell a creative agency? Do you guys?
Don't know. I've never done it, but I'll let you know when we do. No.
I think the way to do it is what I was saying before, is building the business where it is, autonomous, and you as the founder, the owner can step away, and it works. It hums, and I think that's why when, and as I said, when it was early days, and Maz went on holidays, the sky fell. Like, it literally just broke and it was a disaster. And now it's fine. It works. It hums along. We have good people in good positions. So I think getting structures empowering people in different positions. Yeah, and being able to extract yourself, and obviously having a good client book and being profitable, you know, on a sheet where you can say
that would be a hard one.
That's a tricky
leads, selling it with like leads
100%.
coming
Lead
in
generation.
automatically.
Yeah.
Because it's like, okay, I could like the business runs without me and it's okay.
Yeah.
But like, for instance, like the way that we get a lot of leads right now is by like me networking with a lot of people, and it's like you can't sell that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's probably the last bit that you could ever mechanize, right? Because that is the start of the funnel, right?
Yeah.
And
then
what
also,
goes in. Yeah.
How do you value it? You know, like it's a service industry. There's the clients that you do work for. What's guaranteed to come? It's really difficult. So like, I don't know how one does it. I know that lots of creative agencies have gone on to sort of sell to others and do really well. But yeah, I can't imagine it would be easy.
For sure.
To get all those things.
Yeah.
Get all those things together. So.
I reckon
we should wrap it.
We should
Is that
wrap
what you're saying?
it.
Yeah. Final fantasy question?
Yeah.
You got to drop it.
No, you go.
You go.
You got Louis, man.
Me?
Yeah.
All right. A fantasy question that we ask everyone is if you could collab with anyone and time and place wasn't a thing, it can be Biggie Smalls. It could be like Nike. It can be Michael Jordan. It can be another
Louis.
It can be Louis. It can be Heart Media. You collab with anyone. Who would it be?
Ooh.
And it doesn't have to be in like a design way. You know what I mean? It's just like working with them in a way that you would want to.
First.
That's a really tough question. I think. I don't know if it's a dumb answer, but like I think going back to just that where it all started, but like that passion for those like big shows and live events. Like I watched I don't know if you guys have seen that Beyonce Homecoming doco that she did, but I remember watching that. I mean, she's just a force of nature, but the way she just show directed this tour and this show. I just remember watching it and just like feeling that kind of like, you know, energy and excitement and going, oh, like that would be so amazing to be part of that sort of experience. Like actually working with, you know, powerhouse creatives, creating, you know, an event of that nature and crafting the show and designing it and the staging and all of that. I think that would just be incredible.
Like the Super Bowl or something.
Yeah, like that. Like that stuff still gets me super excited.
Yeah.
Like I still watch the Prince
cool.
Super Bowl show from whenever it was, like very long time ago.
Something like that.
Yeah, it would just be amazing.
Epic.
So just an artist of that nature where you could just like create something.
So you'll be singing or just producing?
Mate, behind the scenes. This is the first and last time in front of camera. No, I am absolutely behind the scenes, doing what I used to do with Dan. Yeah. Producing, yeah.
Oh, I was going to say a designer, like a famous designer, but I think I'll say like Andy Warhol. It's such a generic answer, but
It's
I love
not
that. No one said that.
That's
cool. That's all right.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think when he was, you know, just all the artists and that community that he'd fostered, be so interesting, musicians and artists, and just the approach to sort of turning art into a product was something he did without losing the artistic integrity of it as well, which I think not a lot of people have managed to do.
Very hard to do.
Yeah. Like there was always that huge chasm between this is art and this is a product, and he was able to sort of like bridge the gap without detriment to his, you know, his integrity. And I think that's awesome. Also, be really weird guy, so that'd be super.
It'd be cool to work with him.
Yeah.
Weird guy. I like weird guy.
Yeah,
I think we should flip it for the first time ever and ask Billy, the inventor of the fantasy question.
Oh.
Billy, if you could collaborate with anyone and time and
great.
place was not a thing, who would you collab with?
Look, man, honestly, the first person that came to my mind, maybe because I was just exposed. I mean, I've been exposed to him for a long time, but I just saw him recently on somewhere. But there's Steve McCary, the photographer.
Oh yeah.
I just like this guy. His work is like was like just really amazing. And yeah, I'd love to just go on a photo shoot with him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just tag
Because you're a
along.
photographer, aren't you?
Yeah. And like street and travel photography is like my passion. And yeah, like 8 years ago, I wanted to be like that guy personally. So yeah, it would be cool to just hang out with him. He was actually in Australia. That's why I saw him lately.
Yeah.
But yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
He's very good. What about you, Ty?
Yeah.
Me? Oh man. I don't know. Maybe like Alexander McQueen.
Great choice.
Because he was just like seemed like a really weird and interesting dude, number one. And number two, like he was just did something really like ahead of its time at the time. If you like see like the runways and stuff that he used to do, it was just like
epic.
So crazy.
Yeah.
And like out of the box and like kind of offensive as well. And like, I don't know, I just think he had like a really powerful lens of which to view fashion through, and he also was like a really like just like a hardcore creative, which is just like really sick.
And broke through the industry, like being who he was never meant to belong in that industry, and then suddenly was there at the pinnacle of it.
And the way he branded himself was so like he became a brand before it was like the thing for the designers to become a brand. Do you know what I mean?
You really did.
Which is really crazy,
It's so working class as well. Like to go from so working class to then so high-end fashion was just
he's like the elite.
But he was like an amazing seamstress.
I think it was like a tailor. I think he was like a tailor, and a dressmaker. Because he's learned tailoring for ages at the start and then he went to like dressmaking.
That's a good doco too.
To be a
fashion designer. I'll get there.
I can tell.
Do it.
Got quite a look going.
Love it.
We'll get there going. We'll get there soon.
On that note, guys, thank you for sharing. And
thank you.
We really learned a lot from you, and it's nice to resonate and connect. And thanks for coming to the Heart Media podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully and we can collaborate on something. In the future, I'd love to do something with you guys.
We are going to work together for sure.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Billy.
Thank you, mate.
Thank
Cheers
you so
for that.
much.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.